Tucked away in northwest Namibia lies Damaraland, a harsh semi-desert region where some of Africa's most remarkable giants roam. The desert-adapted elephants have evolved to survive in extreme conditions, traveling vast distances in search of water and food. But while these elephants are a marvel of nature, their presence isn't without conflict. In their search for water, they often destroy water tanks, tear down walls, and leave communities without access to basic resources, leaving behind both awe and frustration in their wake. In this two-part series, I return to Elephant Human Relations Aid, a volunteer project I joined 5 years ago, to explore what's happening on the ground and what's being done to build a peaceful coexistence between people and elephants. In this episode, we head out into the wild for 4 days to track these elephants and hear the personal stories of those living alongside them. This is a journey into the heart of that fragile relationship, one of resilience, tension, and hope. Let's hit the road. I can still feel it in my body that we have been carrying rocks, mixing cement. It was heavy work, but having 2 days of rest has been absolutely fabulous. But today we're going to be leaving our beautiful base camp and the flowing Outtro River to go on part 2, which is going to be patrol week. Time to get ready. Okay, off we go! We're on the road to the area surrounding Fransfontein, a tiny settlement tucked deep in Namibia's northwest in the rugged Kunene region. And here a herd roams that EHRA wants more on-the-ground information about. But this job might not be very easy. This herd is notoriously wild and often run at the first sense of humans. The biggest drivers of desert elephant decline is human-elephant conflicts and other environmental pressures, so gaining more on-the-ground information about a herd like this is important too. To up our chances of finding them, we pick up Nikki, EHRA's elephant guard for the Fransfontein region. So we've arrived in the area where the elephants were last spotted, and as you can tell, it is very thick bush. So hoping that we're going to be able to find them here, but if we don't find them here, they have gone off into the commercial farms, which obviously does mean a little bit of trouble. So I'm hoping that we can still see them in this area. The Kunene region in Namibia has experienced a severe drought for about a decade, so to see this region so green is incredibly unusual. The heavy rains that have happened recently have been very welcome after this extended period of dryness. So this is an elephant dam that is built. In regions where elephants and humans can come into conflict over water, EHRA is doing their best to find solutions, one of which is these water dams. They provide a safe drinking spot outside of villages, allowing elephants to drink and move on instead of looking for water near people, where they often cause serious damage.
How's it? Rachel, morning.
On our way to find the elephants, we stop at the home of Titus, a local resident, to see if he can give us any information on their whereabouts.
No sign for the elephants. So let me say 2 weeks ago maybe. They just passed here and they went somewhere there. From there they're heading other side. We are at Mapani.
Are you at Mapani? Okay.
Yeah, so we try to figure out where is that boy.
While the guys figure out our new plan, Titus shows me around his garden. He has had reoccurring destruction from the elephants here and is looking for support to help safeguard his garden through special lights and an electric fence. But despite having lost multiple crops to these grey giants, his answer to the question, "What do you think about the elephants?" surprised me.
Me personally, I like elephants, I like rhinos, I like every wildlife. I like wildlife. Although the elephants, some of the times they come destroy my garden, but it is just because maybe they were on the way passing, on the way to the water. We become old, we know elephants, but if we kill them all, what will happen to our futures? We just tell them like there were elephants, like we are talking about this, dinosaurs. We say there were dinosaurs, but we didn't see them. So it will also happen to our kids. If we destroy all the elephants, nothing will happen. Nothing will left over.
Yeah, that was very interesting, but also clarifying because the elephants haven't been here in about 2 weeks. So we've gotten new information. We're going to be heading to a complete different region, which hopefully we'll be able to see the Outtro elephants. But first it's time for lunch because it's going to be quite the drive.
Enjoy the landscape.
Yes. Okay, so we're in for a long drive, 3 to 4 hours. From Fransfontein, we're first heading south to Korigas and then more west towards the Outtro River. This riverbed is dry for most of the year and stretches for about 300 kilometers. It is also home to 2 primary resident herds, and as we get closer, we get the first signs of them. Yeah, it's morning time, from the morning.
Yeah, Bahama and a baby truck. So let's go back and ask these people This is a village here.
The big difference is with the Fransfontein elephant herd and the Huab elephant herd is the Fransfontein herds are much more wild compared to the Huab elephants.
According to the guy who stays here, they are still here and not in the shade where we thought, but down there in the riverbed. So this would be so exciting if we get to see a baby elephant. Are we excited? After hours of tracking in the harsh Namibian heat, it is nothing short of breathtaking to finally spot the Huab herd, a group of desert-adapted elephants perfectly attuned to one of the toughest environments on Earth. Among them is baby Eve. Born in 2024, she's still small but full of spirit. She represents more than just new life. She's a symbol of hope and resilience in a landscape that doesn't make survival easy. To see the herd thriving now, playfully splashing in the leftover rains and cooling off in the mud, feels like a reward, not just for them, but for everyone in this region who has endured months of drought. Moments like this are what make EHRA's work so important. Every sighting, every observation, every GPS point contributes to a growing database that helps monitor herd health, track movement patterns, and advocate for their protection, especially in times of increasing human-elephant conflict. As volunteers with EHRA, we help with the body condition scoring. Do the elephants look healthy? Are there any injuries or signs of stress? We help to update the photo IDs by taking pictures to have up-to-date images of the elephants, check if there are births, deaths, or shifted family groups, and our sightings help with sighting data, which maps how the herds are moving.
So we have two herds in the Huab River. So we have the Oscar herd and the Rosie herd. And we saw the Oscar herd, and from the Oscar herd, Kinky is the matriarch.
Wow, Kinky was born in 1975. I was not expecting that we would be seeing so many elephants on our very first day of patrol. Seeing the baby, so freaking cute. We can hear them scratching, we can hear them eating, and we can hear them making their rumble. It's pretty damn special. If you'd also like to volunteer with EHRA or support their mission of protecting the desert-adapted elephants and supporting the local communities in their quest to reduce conflict, you can look at the link in the description of this video. Time to say goodbye to the Ellies and get ready to prep our camp. So task number 1 is to get some firewood. A nice big branch. Yeah, might as well just take the whole tree. Let's hope that our upcoming campsite does not get that. Okay, so we've now arrived at the Conservancy office because there is a lot of rain in the area at the moment. So they have allowed us to pitch our tents out here, and if the rain gets too hard, we can put it there under the roof, which, yeah, we're not out there in the wild, but this is very nice, and it's going to be a lot more comfortable than having rain coming through the tent and having to wake up at night and get everything safe, yada yada yada. So pretty pleased. Another good thing about this place is that there is a loo, which means that we will not be digging holes to do our business anyway. Get over the Namibian sunsets. Oh, the sky is playing a show for us.
Tomorrow we have one mission. We are going to visit the lady that was visited a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, by the elephants, and they destroyed, they did some damage at her homestead. So we are just going to go there tomorrow and then see what the elephants have done.
Okay, we have survived our first patrol day, and it is time to hit the sack, because tomorrow it seems like we're going to have a pretty interesting day again, and for that, of course, we need a good night's sleep. So see you guys in the morning. Okay, I'm coming.
Wow. You can throw them like
Yeah.
I'm Rosie.
a group of 5 elephants. They came, they pulled out all my pipes, and they've damaged also the tank like that and finished the water which was in the tank, and there was a little bit of water left, so they rolled the tank down and they finished it up, roll it up to this point and just throw it up here, and then they disappear also. They are at the moment in another area. What I'm doing, I'm just pumping the trough, but the trough is also very, very small with the livestock which we have got, because it's family of 4 people which is farming at this farm. If our livestock is drinking, and nighttime also some wildlife it's also coming, so then the trough it's not enough for all of us, and that's why maybe they go up to the tank and destroy the tank and everything. That's what I think actually. Now I've got nothing now to put water in for all of us to have at least something. That's the whole thing.
But these animals are strong, huh?
Yeah, it's a task which is maybe put in here.
And here?
Here also task, yeah. You see how their task was also
piercing it.
Marks on the thing. Next step.
But this is like...
This, I didn't see it. Whole time I think I can fill up to 5 or 10 k.
As you might be able to tell, what has happened here is actually like a multifaceted issue, because where I'm walking to now is basically where that water tower was. The elephants have taken that down, rolled it down, smashed it into a tree. So that is obviously very expensive for her to replace a big water tank like that or a water tower. But then again, they've also ripped out the pipes from the rocks because this was not reinforced with cement. And then the water trail down there doesn't have enough water for them to like actually slurp on, because elephants drink a lot. So like what Johannes was just telling me, this is like, it needs a multi-layered solution. One would be a solar powered water dam for the elephants, so that when they come through this area, they go to the water dam and they don't destroy other people's water sources. She would need a new water tower with a protection wall, and her pipes would have to be fixed again. So yeah, this costs a lot of money to actually do. Like that is the main thing, money to get this done. Because especially now, like even when I'm walking, it is so hot, and not to have water to your usage here is going to be a big issue, especially in an environment like this. How they've come across this?
Elephant.
The elephant.
This is nothing for them.
Yeah, but look how sharp and rocky it is.
No, Rachel. This is nothing for elephant. This rock, elephant is so clever. He can step here on this rock. When the rock's still standing, like this one, and it's still standing, he will push.
Meeting Rosie is a reminder that conservation can't happen without supporting the communities who live alongside the elephants. It's easy to say don't harm the elephants when you're not the one sharing resources or losing livelihoods. That's why focusing on coexistence is so important. But this takes education, support, and most of all, funding. As we head to our lunch break, we catch a quick glimpse of the herd, a quiet reminder of how closely their lives are tied to the people here. And now we've arrived at our lunch spot. Look at that. We've got shade from the tree. We've got water running through the river. What a lekker little spot. Ik denk dat dit wel genoeg is, of niet?
Ja, warm.
Ik kijk niet eens. It is so warm today. I already moved from the shade there to the car shade. We're also having an extra long break from 12 till 3 this time just to beat the heat. But this is not a joke. After our break, we head out to find the herd again. We find them, moving slowly across the landscape led by the matriarch Kinky. She carries the wisdom of the herd, where to find food, water, and safety. Generations of knowledge live in her memory. Usually, the matriarch of a herd is the oldest and most dominant female. On the edge of the herd is a young bull, still part of the family but slowly beginning to drift, a natural part of growing up for male elephants. As we watch them, it's impossible not to admire what makes these elephants so unique. The desert-adapted elephants are not a separate subspecies to the savanna elephants, but they have adjusted to their terrain. They've developed broader feet to walk more easily over soft sand and cover longer distances, and they can go for days without drinking, surviving on the moisture from desert plants. Their range is vast, sometimes covering over 60 kilometers in a single day in search of food and water. They've learned to dig into dry riverbeds to access hidden water sources, a skill passed down through generations. These elephants are wild. They don't live in a reserve and don't have the boundaries of a reserve restricting them. They are free roaming. But as we observe them, we are also reminded of how easily they will move between man-made divisions. Go straight through a fence. That's why they are broken. Is she gonna go straight across here? Her foot is stuck. The one in the back, her foot is stuck. Baby is so cute. What a friggin' amazing patrol day. It is another very warm morning here in the Namibian desert. Last night was probably one of the stickiest and sweatiest nights that I have had in a very long time because we were sleeping in the tents again, but this time there was no sign of wind. But that doesn't compare to the excitement that we have today because it's our very last full day of Elephant Patrol Week. So that means we get to spend a lot of time with the elephants. Off we go again. So we can see the elephants again this time, but they're not close to the road like yesterday, so we're using the binocs. It was quite hard for us to spot them in the distance, but now we can see them. They're off of the main road now, so I think they might have been irritated with all the cars.
Yeah, definitely.
Irritated by all the cars, so...
Probably, yeah.
2 kilometers? Yeah, about 2 kilometers in the distance.
I have some shit to do. So the elephants have a very poor digestive system. That's why you see a lot of branches, a lot of twigs, yeah. So the elephants only digest 40% of what they eat.
It's actually so cool, we're walking here, and they're right down there. I'm sitting under this lovely tree that the elephants also eat, and I got a little bit curious as we were watching the elephants, and I used a stick and I made a little hole into the tree, and yeah, like a sticky stuff came out, and it doesn't look very appetizing, but it's super sticky, and when you like rub it through your fingers, it actually smells really nice. It's sweet, and yeah, apparently the Himbas use this also for like a perfume, and I can imagine why, because it smells actually quite nice. After what is our very last heat-filled lunch break, it is time to head off again. So we got information that one of the other Huab herds is in the area as well. So we've been following one, which was Kinky's herd. Now we're going to try and see if we can find this other herd. This patrol week definitely saved the best for last. As we approach, we see the Rosie herd relaxing in the shade and dusting their bodies with the sand. Alongside them, baby Mimi is having a well-deserved nap. At first, I thought she was dead, but her little ear fanning her body is a clear sign she is just deep in slumber. Life for baby desert elephants is not easy. These elephants have a high infant mortality rate, where survival past their younger years is not guaranteed. Since 2012, there have been 2 baby elephants that survived in the Oudtshoorn River and 12 in the Huab River.
And so that's one of the biggest difference between the 2 rivers. The drought can be one of the biggest factor. Maybe also the lack of nutrition with the big females or also the young ones.
As we observe them, we get to see the cutest thing ever. Have you ever seen a baby elephant try to wake up?
Oh, hello, baby.
Feed now.
Oh man, that was such a beautiful, beautiful sighting. Seeing that little baby actually wake up and stumble back to mama is so cute. We're gonna leave this herd in peace now so that they can just munch and eat a bit in the shade. Say hi. And then there was rain. Okay, that was our last full day of patrol week, and it was an awesome one. We saw 2 babies, we had a full day of elephants. We've come and we're camping under, well, I wouldn't say the stars, we're camping under the clouds, but we're not at the Conservancy office, we're actually on a camp. It's been absolutely fantastic, but I'm so tired again, so it's time to hit the sack and then we can head back to base camp tomorrow. As I lay in our tent listening to the wind and rain sweep across the desert, I reflect on these past 2 weeks with EHRA. From the physical effort of building a protection wall last week, which you can see in the previous episode, to the past few days spent tracking elephants and speaking with the people who live alongside them. Elephants are keystone species and vital to the ecosystem, but in our quest to protect nature, we can't disregard the people who call these places home too. True conservation means including local communities, listening to them, supporting them, meeting their needs and working with them.
Hello. You're so sweet. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, as you can see, this is one of the, just to protect the garden of the community. So like this belongs to this lady from this house, and I think she's actually vegetarian. And the elephants, whenever they come around in the area, they just like to come in their garden, and then they eat what they find here. But yeah, this is just one of the solutions we have here, just to put an electric fence around the garden and protects it from the elephants so they won't come here.
Home sweet home, we have arrived back at base camp for tonight along this beautifully flowing Odyssey river that we got to witness fill up again. This whole week has been absolutely magical. To be able to see the desert adapted elephants so close and get to see 2 babies from 2 different herds has been very, very special. But it has also put some stuff into perspective for me, because it doesn't always look like this. These elephants live in some of the harshest conditions out there. They often have to walk for ages before they can find a proper water source or food. Now this in turn obviously brings conflict in this area between elephants and humans, and going into the communities and seeing what EHRA is actually doing to help these communities when it comes to human-elephant conflict is very, very insightful, because we get to see how they are actually mitigating some of the issues, because you cannot help a species if you're not helping communities. If you do want to be a volunteer on one of EHRA's projects, or you want to support what they are doing out here in Damaraland, you can visit the link in my description. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one as well. Bye.